Here is my 1974 850 Norton Commando. It's been sitting for over the winter, and the gas has kind of been bad in the amount of time between then and now, and we're going to siphon it out. And we're going to work on changing the carburetors in this thing. So that's kind of what the main goal here is on this little segment here. We're going to take this Mikuni out. It doesn't really function good. You know, I don't know why people switch them out when they do this over the years, but they make kits to put them on here and stuff. But the Amal carburetors, for me, I just seem like they work great. So we're going to put a nice new set of Amal Premiers on this bike and get it running on that, because this thing usually used to be with the Amals on it. Used to be a one kick start, and I got to kick on this thing for a while to get this Mikuni to fire up. So it's just personal preference. Get this Japanese carburetor off this English motorcycle. And then we'll go from there. Let's get it running and stuff. So first off, we're gonna siphon out the old gas out of this tank here. So stay tuned.
Really? There must not be much in here.
It's starting to siphon out. Usually I gotta tinker with them things forever until it finally goes.
Okay, hold on to that. Got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Keep it down there.
Got it down there.
Go. It's sucking mostly out.
Yeah. All right, well, here we go. We're almost done sucking the gas out, so we'll start taking the tank off here pretty soon. So stay tuned. All right, so we're taking the parts off of here to be able to remove this tank. What we got going on is the tank's mounted back here with this little strap, and there's a nut on this stud here, and the same on the other side. So you just got done taking the nut off there. Now on the front, we got another one too here. Right up here on this one. There it is, right here. So we're taking these off too. And the tank can come off. So, alright, well, stay tuned.
Rubber stick.
Alright, so the rubber stick, we've got to break the rubbers loose. And then we get this nut really loose to where it almost comes off. But what we do is we leave it like this, that way the tank doesn't fly up. When we go to loosen the grip up here, there's a rubber that gets kind of stuck too, and it likes to hit the neck right here.
See, I got it loose now.
Yeah.
See.
So you can really, a lot of tanks get chipped up right through here when they hit the top triple tree right there.
And we take the nuts off.
So now that it's all loose, we take the nuts off the rest of the way.
And then rubber and a washer.
And the rubber in the washer just comes off too. Yeah, we just had to come over here and look at it. There we go.
Okay.
Got the. I'll just take the tank off.
Now the tank, you gotta lift it up just past the bolts and carefully lift the rear and pull it out of there.
Alright. Alright, so we remove the choke cable here, and then next thing we're going to be doing is taking off the manifold here. We got, well, to be able to do this though, we got two hidden screws in here. And what we'll have to do is we'll take the carburetor off, remove the adapter right here, go in, get the Allen wrench inside there on both sides, and then with the Allen wrench on the outside here, we'll take these outer ones off. Yeah, otherwise, yeah, we'll just keep going forward here. Right now, we're removing the throttle cables here too. So stay tuned. There we go. Alright, so all we did was backed out this screw right here and pulled the carburetor right off. So there we are, we got our Mikuni off here. Now we'll go over and look at the Amals we're going to replace it with. So anyway, I don't know, I just didn't have any luck with this Mikuni. Some people do, but I didn't. And I have luck with my Amal carburetors, so we're going to stick with them. So here's a set of Amal Premiers ready to go on. I got them all set up already because it's kind of like how it was when we switched carburetors. But anyway, we're going to go back to this setup. I think I'll enjoy it better. Possibly. We'll see. And anyway, they're pretty much ready to go on. So what we'll do is mount them, hook up the cables and everything, and then put it all back together. So stay tuned here.
Of course, it's rubber.
Are you able to get in there with a wrench to get those in?
I like to get these off first.
Yeah,
it's better because it's a big hole. There we go. There it is. Now, what size is this? Same size, yeah.
this next part's kind of tricky. We don't want to really drop them bolts down inside there, so stay tuned here. Alright, so this 850 Commando, it has the RH4 head. All 850s, they're marked up here with what type of head. There's the difference was the RH4 being a 32 millimeter port for intake, and RH10 was a 30 millimeter port intake. So this has got the bigger ported head. Just wanted to talk about that a little bit. Wow. It got stuck, huh?
Well, we Loctite them because you don't want them to fall out.
That's true. Yeah, so that I remember that now, yeah.
Blue Loctite.
We Loctite them so we can make sure they don't fall out and to go into the inside. I don't want that to happen. Because unlike the Amal setup, they're not like inside of the manifold. The actual manifolds, they're all the bolts are external, all outside. Unfortunately, on like these Nortons or whatever, there's like a limited spectrum of carburetors you can put on here because of the clearance with the frame and stuff. But unlike like a Harley or something where we have all that room, you can put whatever on, you know. But Amals just seem to work really good for me, so, and other British bikes, so we just kind of keep that stuff on here. The main reason why we ever put the Mikuni on in the first place was because we had some petcock problems with the tank and stuff, and we didn't realize what it was at first, and we thought maybe it was the carburetors, and anyway, so on, and we ended up putting this Mikuni on, so we had one laying around. So it's kind of the history on that. There we go.
There's your ports.
Alright, so that's what the intake ports look like. Alright. Stay tuned here. Alright, so with putting the carbs on, kind of put them on as a little group here. It's a little bit easier. You don't have to, but it just seems to be easier this way. we go. We start that one there, and then we'll start the one over there.
There's a special wrench for that.
Yeah, so we got a special little Allen wrench we used for tightening those up with. But anyway, there's a primer right here on the carburetor. Talked about this before in other videos I've done on this kind of carburetors. That's why you prime the fuel, make sure that goes to the outside, and so on. So.
And what makes this a premier is they got a, where is it? Right here.
Okay, that little spot there makes it a premier.
Yeah, they got a pilot jet that screws into there, and the idle adjuster's on the opposite side, and so you can get different ones.
So this is the pilot jet comes in the side here on this premier, and then the idle adjuster he's talking about is right over here.
Right here.
Yep.
So throttle adjustments here.
Yep. Okay.
Speed.
So we'll work on
an extended one in there so you can grab it and turn it easy. That's not select.
Okay, so yeah, that's the other thing. While we're here, so this has been altered so where it's better so you can grab onto it and turn it, and the primers are different. In 70s, they changed them or whatever, but 73, yeah. So my Combat is supposed to have the smaller primer here, but this is the bigger one, just like the 74 should have. So.
Modified it short so it fits in here.
Kind of hard to see it, but that's fine.
It's a special wrench that came in the tool kits. It's short.
So this is the original one. I thought maybe we modified one.
Well, you can take a Allen wrench and cut one off, and you can make it yourself.
But this is the real
deal.
This
came out of the original tool kit. Now, a ball driver works in this too, and that's what I am going to run them in a way. So I want to get it started good.
Yeah,
ball driver, so you can't hardly get on it very good. You kind of can. But it keeps hanging up all the time.
Once you get it all the way.
Once you get her in snug.
Then you get on the business end of that small.
The other one.
The other one, and then tighten it down. So.
And I like to tighten the inside ones first, then the outside.
Right, yeah. Because they're hard to get to. Yeah. Especially the next one. Next one's going to be even harder because now we don't have this. We're going to lose our we're going to lose our opening right here. So, yeah, anyway, stay tuned here. There we go. We'll get the other one on now.
This one's...
Yeah, this one will be a little bit more challenging, so...
You get in here with the ball driver for a little bit, but that's about it. It's kind of a pain.
There we go.
Fiddly.
Gotta wiggle it so that he makes sure that he's lining up with that hole he's trying to screw it into.
It's going.
It's going? Okay, there we go. Yep, there it is. It's going in pretty good now.
Well, Norton manifolds are cut too at a flat, and the carburetors got a flat there, and they ground in between there on the points because they get too tight. And if they're not like that, they won't fit.
So if you don't have them flats, you know, you got like a Triumph carb or something then.
Yep. Triumph carburetors are different. Well, they're the same, but they're different.
And then these manifolds are unique to the Norton, right? Because I don't think these are on Triumphs. Yeah.
Right. Because they're curved.
Yeah, right.
Because the motor is at a degree.
I have to say, all the Triumphs I've worked on or we've worked on don't have these at all. So.
Okay, I gotta get past that.
And then now when he gets on there, he's gonna run into this nut up here too. So I mean, it's got a little bit of room to work on this with.
Let's tighten up.
Got it. All right.
Now we'll tighten the other one.
Yeah, the outer one here.
Can't forget this.
Yeah, we gotta put the vent on, right? And then the vent.
That's actually an equalizer.
Yeah. So it's a equalizing tube. What we're doing there is making sure you have constant pressure in the equalized in the manifolds.
That helps them idle. Okay.
All right. Well, that's pretty much it for that part right there. Now we'll move on to putting the cables on and stuff. So stay tuned. Alright, so we removed the top cover there, and we're going to start hooking up the cables and stuff. So, stay tuned here. Alright, so now we're moving this one so we can get attached to the cables. And then we'll be able to slide them down in. This was the same procedure that we went through on the Triumph when we were working on that. But anyway, we'll go over it again here in a minute, so stay tuned here. Alright, we're sliding that top one on that one. The top piece in there with everything hooked up. And then we got to hook up the other one yet. So we'll be looking at that here in a minute. But anyway, they go a certain way, of course, because you can get them backwards. We got
this head steady's got rubbers on it, moves back and forth, so we got to separate the cables, one on one side and one on the other. That's why I'm not putting the slide on it yet.
Oh yeah, because we got to separate the two.
And so they don't bind.
Yeah, so the cables we got going in here is the accelerating cable and then the choke cable. So the choke cable usually is in the, which one is it? The front one, isn't it?
It's the rear one.
The rear one's the choke. So remember that the choke is in the rear and then the throttle cable is in the front. Alright, so let me split it through here on this motor mount.
You don't want it between here because it pinches.
Oh yeah, because this brace here that's in the frame, you can get in between there and stuck and like damage the cable. So that's to ride right on top of this rubber piece. See that right there? Yep.
Same with this.
And it's the same with the choke one as well.
Run both of them, then we'll zip tie them later.
Alright, well, stay tuned here. Alright, so we got the cables routed here. We got the choke cable in the rear. It goes in the back behind here. It comes up into here and merges with the one over there. And then we got throttle cable right here on the outside. It comes up to this junction here where it grabs the other one. It gets pulled together with a single cable. So This is kind of how we got them lined up and routed. That way it doesn't bind up or get pinched in any way. So it's sitting pretty good. So now we'll go over to the other side and work on some stuff. Alright, so we're hooking up the cables to the pieces that operate everything.
Maybe.
So we'll push, yeah, move these slides, hook it up into the slide here. We push that spring up out of the way, and we got to hook into that slide piece. There we go. And then, of course, that was our choke unit right there.
Okay.
We got to get that down inside that slide now.
Yeah, sometimes it's tough.
I can see that. There we go. And then the other cable, of course, hooks up to this slide here and pulls up the whole thing.
There's a little groove here. It's got to fit in the groove. And the slide, and the needle's got to go down inside.
Yeah, so there's like a... It's kind of hard to show you the inside of there, but the needle's got to go like into a little recessed area. Anyway, go back for the other side and show you. Hold on. Stay tuned. Okay, so that's how the carburetor needle seats and functions. Alright, see how that bottom brass piece is all the way around? Except for the front right there. There's like, it's actually like moon shaped or half moon shaped. We'll talk about that in a minute here. So stay tuned here. We'll reference that on a different moment, and then anyway, that's how it gets all put together though, so stay tuned here. Alright, so this is the Amal carburetor body, kind of like the one that's being put on the bike right there. And then anyway, I was talking about how this brass piece down there was half moon shaped. Okay, so here's what a lot of them looked like. They were actually solid down there. So they did this to the 850s because off idle there used to be a dead spot like as soon as you went to accelerate. So Amal and Norton and stuff, they decided that if they cut that out a little bit, they'd fix the problem, and which it did actually. So, but if this is sitting on your 850, you're gonna have that dead spot. So make sure you check for that if you have a carburetor or acceleration problems with your bike. So anyway, so stay tuned. Okay, so we got the cables routed. It all works really well. We have it functions well, but we need to check the synchronizing on this. So we're gonna work on that next here. 1.5, 1.5, 2. So we turn them out equally. We bottom them up and then we turn them out equally.
1, 1.5, 2.
2. So that's a good starting point.
No, that means they're released.
Yeah. So anyway, that ends up making them released. So we need a.
They both got to leave exactly the same time.
So stay tuned here. All right, so we're getting them set up to where they move exactly the same time, open and close. It's a necessity, so that way there's one doesn't function differently than the other one.
So one half of the motor don't pull harder than the other.
Yeah, that would happen too. The other half of the motor would pull harder than the other half of the motor, and that's the whole purpose of this, is to eliminate that. So to do that, he's loosening and tightening up the cables up here on top, and that raises and lowers the needle, depending on which way he wants to go with it. Let's see if I can get a good view of it. Yeah, right there. So he's going to set that bottom nut loose so he can adjust it.
I'm going to tighten this side because it's on the opposite side to me. And then I'm going to adjust on the other side. That's solid.
Okay.
You see one of the other moving first?
Yeah, so
This one over here.
he's using the accelerator to pull these needles up, and it looks like this one over here is moving just right before this one does. It's really it's really hard to see that, but
Well, pretty damn close.
yeah, it's pretty freaking close. So
I think
all right,
we're good enough.
I think we got it set. So all right, well, stay tuned. All right, so after getting that synchronizing set, we run this back up too, and then that gives us our idle setting. So anyways, he's just double checking the synchronizing, make sure it's pretty good. So you bottom it out, and then you set your idle that way.
There we go.
Alright, cool, we got it.
Should be okay.
The idle all set, I believe, for this bike. Within range. We'll have to get it running, of course, to get it fine-tuned. But anyway, the whole procedure here, and he's going to explain it to you.
These throttle stops, these carburetors were on another 850. So these throttle stops were already set for 1,000 RPMs. So when I started the synchronization for this, these new cables, I backed both of these out 2 full turns. That allows the slide on the inside to come all the way down to the floor of the carburetor and not hit the stops. So I could synchronize these 2 bolts to where they would, both needles leave exactly at the same time when you turn the throttle. After that's set, then you're done here. Then I turned these back in 2 full turns. So that should be back where approximately 1,000 RPMs. If it's off at all, you just turn one of them until they both leave at the same time. That's enough to get it started. And then after it's running and it's warmed up, you adjust these equally from that point on, a little bit at a time, to raise or lower the idle to get it back to 1,000 RPMs.
Yeah, so we got it set right now, like you said.
Where they're equal.
Where they're equal, so it's synchronized, and both carbs are set for back to where they were. So when we get it running, we'll be able to fine tune it from there. So next step here, we'll be putting on the bowls back on and stuff, and route the fuel lines. So stay tuned. All right, so we just threaded in the main jets now, and then we'll be putting the bowls and stuff in here next. So here we go. Stay tuned here. Go. I got one in. Now this side.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, I put it in the right way. There we go.
Yeah, it's got to be this way.
There we go. Hold it there.
Now I got to put something over here. Kind of a blind area. Got
Yeah.
I didn't tighten it, but
There we go.
gotta be able to move it a little. So I can start this one good. Now tighten it. Tighten this one.
Yeah, make sure that one's tight while we're in here.
And tighten this one.
Right. Make sure these drains are tight too. We don't want to, when we turn the gas on, we don't want leaks all over the place. Nope, they're good. So, all right, we're gonna get the lines routed now. So stay tuned here. All right. Yeah, so we gotta kind of keep this held straight. We don't want it to get all bound when we go to tighten this down. So it wants to twist also. So we're holding it still as it grips. The same with this side. I don't want to get carried away and just twist it all over the place. Yeah, see, like that.
Of course, this nut is Whitworth.
Oh yeah, that's a good point too. So there's a lot of standard stuff and a lot of American standard stuff. There's a couple, metric stuff, and then Whitworth is its own type of size as well. It's their British standard of pretty much their measuring of tool sizes and stuff. So I'll show you some different wrenches here in a minute on that stuff, so stay tuned here. Alright, so with Whitworth tools, they have a whole different scale of how they market and size range. So I guess what we got going on here, and it's not really an easy way to explain it, but I'll try to do my best here with it. So on our right here, we got a 1/2-inch wrench, American standard ASC size, 1/2 inch. And we have a metric. We have a 13 millimeter, which is not really equivalent to a half, but it's within a real close range of 1/2 inch. It's its own size. Now what happens is, of course everybody knows wrenches, the 1/2 inch head fits in here snugly, or within clearance, so it can come out. And then of course a 13 millimeter would too as well. So if you're taking a 1/2 inch size, of course it's going to be not quite the right size. It's going to have a lot more flop. Now, you can't really even compare a 1/2 inch and 13 to Whitworth because they marked their wrenches different. See how they got it marked 316? And the WW stands for Whitworth. Okay, so on this 316 here, the 1/2 inch bolt here doesn't fit in at all. Okay. Now it goes to quarter. And of course it says WW back here also for Whitworth. So this is a 1/2 inch bolt again. And we go to put it in there. And it's even looser than that metric one was, that metric 13. So it's its own size, like I was saying. So if you got a bolt or whatever and you're trying to get onto it, a bolt like that with your tool set and it's all floppy, all you're going to do is round the thing off. You need to have it set right, so you got to make sure that it fits in there perfectly. Otherwise you'll have a heck of a time removing bolts and fasteners and stuff. A lot of the times when working on old bikes and stuff, people use what they have. They don't have a set of Whitworth tools, and then you have a British bike like a Norton or a Triumph that has all kinds of rounded heads, and you can't get it off, and you got to destroy the nut or the bolt because somebody was using the wrong tool. So best thing that probably would be is to take
Whitworth quarter used the bore size. So American uses the head 1/2 inch.
So yeah, that's the way to explain that.
Whitworth used
The
bolt diameter.
So if it was a 1/4 inch bolt, you'd use a 1/4 inch. You use the 1/4 inch one, and this head would fit the head of that bolt. That's how they marked it.
Yes.
Unlike us in the United States, we took the our standard. We went off the width of the head from one flat to the other flat, and it fits in there.
Yes.
And that's how we measured it.
That's exactly how they did it.
So the best way to measure, like, to see if you're going to be using the correct tool is to take a caliper and measure the head. And then you get your preference that way, because it'll measure a 1/2 inch. For a 1/2 inch wrench, they'll measure not quite a 1/2 inch, and they'll probably be closer to like a metric wrench. But if you're working on British bikes, be on the lookout for Whitworth size stuff. So anyway, they're all scattered all over the bike. Not everything is Whitworth on the bike, but because we got like standard sizes here and there, we have metric stuff on the bikes as well. So it's kind of fun. So stay tuned. All right, so we're about ready to put the tank on. We got the cables kind of held up with this wire tie here, and we have the fuel fittings and stuff on. We'll be ready to drop the tank down in there and then kind of finish it up from there. So stay tuned here. We're about ready to go fire this thing up and see if it runs. All right, so we put that down in there really nice and safely. All right, we're making sure we get our studs through here, which they are, and we'll go ahead and put them pieces on. Rubber washer first, and then the metal washer. Kind of nice about that rubber washer is it stays firm, so you can use your, don't have to like fight it to stay still while you're working upside down. And then, well, of course we'll leave this stuff loose because we have to set the back
To the seat.
to the seat, and that's important. So that's why this is going to stay loose up here, because that's where we want our gap to be right for our seat. We open and shut the seat.
This side's a little tighter for some reason.
All right, there we go. Stay tuned.
Okay, now what we'll do is
All right, so with leaving that loose, like I was saying, we're able to move this back and forth, and even a little bit to left and right a little bit even. And we get this, put the seat on now, and we get our gap between the two components set up. All right, we got it on there. We just tighten these up. And there's the gap we're going to adjust.
Jesus.
All right, well, stay tuned here. All right, with having the seat on, we were able to pull the tank back as far as it could go with leaving a nice gap between there. And then now we just put the nuts back on that brace that went across and tighten them back down. And then we tighten the front ones down. So, anyway, stay tuned. All right, so now we're going to put the fuel line on this side. All right.
Here's a wrench.
And then we will hook it into the carburetor here. There we go. And then, yeah, wait till he's done with the wrench there. And I'll come over here and tighten this one up. Well, hold the petcock still so it doesn't like get all messed up and turn.
Tear up the rubber seal.
Yeah. So we're holding it by the body there. And we're gonna
Maybe. There we go.
Yeah, and then now we tighten up the fitting. There we go. Then we'll put a wire tie on to hold this on.
Hose clamps can work. Wire ties work just as good.
Tight, and then cut it off. Yep. All right, so I'll put the seat back on and
Gas in it.
put gas in it.
Start.
See if it starts. So stay tuned. In here.
High octane.
Yeah.
Alcohol free.
Yeah, get some alcohol free in there. And then, yeah, high octane. Then we're gonna start this thing up. It hasn't ran for a while, so at least a year, at least over a year, it hasn't ran. So we'll see how well this turns out. Let's see if it starts up really good. So stay tuned here. On. We're gonna tickle the carburetor here, prime it. We just push the button until it primes. It's primed right away, so it's filled up. And same with this side. You can hold it in, you can push it, it don't matter. I just kind of do both. There we go. Kind of make a mess, but...
Turn your key on.
Yeah, keys over here.
Got light.
Yeah, we got light and stuff.
Okay, she should start.
Alright, so we're gonna see if this thing fires up. It's been sitting for over like a year now, so... We got Amos on it now, so let's see what happens. I don't expect it to fire right away. There we go, it's fired up. Alright. Setting the idle right now. Test ride it now, so stay tuned. Alright, well I'm going to start it again and we're going to go for a little buzz quick on it. Check out the carbs, how they perform. And then be right back. One up. Remember that, it's another triumph. Yeah, I'll be right back. All right, well, just got it back here, and we got the idle set really good, nice and warmed up. But I think the carburetors are set pretty good on this thing, except for hearing like a weird noise in the lower end. They kind of had this noise. I thought I heard it before when I wrote it, and I can really hear it again after it gets warmed up. So we're thinking bearings or something are going in the motor itself. So we might make a winter project out of this. I'm trying to tear this motor apart. So anyway, we'll stay tuned here. Well, that kind of ends this segment on this bike. I guess we're gonna, like I was saying, we're probably gonna make a project out of it during the winter. But we got other winter projects also, so we'll see how this all plays out. But we'll probably be tearing into this down in the future. So, but it still runs and it still rides really nice. But we're probably gonna get to it right away because this is like one of my favorite bikes to ride. So anyways, hope you enjoyed all this, and stay tuned for more to come. And because we got a Tiger to finish up, and we got a old 40 Harley to finish putting back together. So stay tuned. See you again soon.